The goal of the medium fidelity prototype was to determine the best method for representing a digital object when it is no longer on the surface of the table. Let's assume our table has 4 participants around it. In the middle of heavy activity, it becomes important for each user to determine whether the object is on or off the table and who has it. To determine the best method for object representation, we should see if participants can quickly determine who has the object and whether or not it's on the table. The reason we use these goals is that in our experiment this summer, participants had to perform the tasks quickly and under pressure, requiring them to make very quick decisions on who had the object and whether they could pick it up or not. From the evaluation of the paper prototypes, 3 techniques were identified. Technique 1 creates a semi-transparent representation of the object that follows the user's hand. If the user's hand leaves the table, an arrow appears indicating who has the object. The object also changes size depending on the height of the user's hand. Technique 2 divides the table into quadrants. When a user picks up the object, the entire quadrant is filled, alerting all users to who possesses the object. Technique 3 creates a representation of the object in the center of the screen. That representation has 4 quadrants and fills the quadrant with the respective position of the participant. Participants could interact with each of these techniques before performing 3 separate tasks. The first task required participants to determine if the object was on the table or above the surface of the table. The second task required participants to determine which of the 4 people around the table had the object. And the third task combined the first and second task, requiring participants to determine if the object was on the surface of the table or belonged to a specific individual. Quantitative and qualitative data was taken from the time and errors of the tasks, survey rankings, and interview questions.